Hey, Tony guys here popping in real quick. Not really. Might be a while. I don't know. You check time, see how long I talk. I don't know how long I'm gonna talk whenever I get on here. Just dropped my son off the training, and first and foremost, before I get into this here video, what I want to say is that we built for more. We are built for more. Cause I think what's the day? Tuesday. So 6 a.m. Monday, made 24 hours, dry fasted. 6 a.m. Tuesday, made 48 hours. So it's almost 11. So yeah, about 53 hours. I'm about 53 hours into a dry fast, which means no food, no water. The only thing touch my mouth, inside of my mouth, is toothpaste. I don't even put the water in there after and swash around. I just spit toothpaste out. So, but I feel fine. I feel fine. I'm not having hunger pains. I had normal, like, little stomach gurgling a couple of times, especially when I was sitting down watching my son eat Popeyes right in front of my face. And Popeyes is one of my favorite restaurants. So that was a challenge. I think that got that stuff to burning. Just, ooh wee. But other than that, like, no headache. I had no coffee Monday. I ain't had no coffee today. I'm not really a coffee drinker, but I typically have a cup of coffee every day. But for some reason, I'm not having caffeine withdrawals, which that's what I don't understand right there now. That's mind boggling now. So I'm going to try to get through the day. And because you got to listen to your body. Like, if I was feeling like super tired, super drained, super exhausted, then I would go ahead and break the fast, get me some water, have me some fruit, then eat me some carbs or what have you, some other carbs, little bit of protein. But I feel totally fine. Feel totally fine. Went to bed late last night, about midnight. But I say that this, I'm finding out that this is a secret that they not telling us, and this is fasting. This fasting is gonna rejuvenate that body. It's gonna heal that body. It's gonna eat up them toxins. It's gonna, like, I urinated this morning when I woke up, and it was like a dark yellow. So that let me know that from not having that water, all that water was coming out of me. Now them toxins coming on out of me. It's getting all that. It's cooking up. Putting them toxins on out. Because you're not going to be dehydrated when you drink a bunch of water and you're not really doing nothing. You're not going to be dehydrated in a couple of days, because our genes built to travel. We built to travel across deserts, across all this land. We built to be a nomad when you got to be a nomad. And so we built for more. We built to last. And this right here, it get to show you that your body don't need to eat every 2 hours. You don't need to eat every 4 hours. This the lie that they done told us, because that's consumerism. It keep us buying food, buying food, buying food. That's money. That's money into the economy. And then it keep us sick. It keep us overweight. So then when we sick and we overweight, we get on pills, and then them pills that ramping up. Big Pharma owned by the top 0.1% of Americans. That's who own Big Pharma. So we making them billions and billions and billions. They might be getting ready to touch $1 trillion off of the pills that we taking. But when you start getting God's medicine and you fast a little bit and do all of that right there, hey, that's gonna be life changing. All right, we getting on into the mess. Some people done clicked off. Man, what it bad talking about? Oh, you new here. Touch your nose. Yeah, shut up. And so, yeah, y'all forgive me. So, what I want to touch on is, because this something been on my heart. And for one, I'm going to speak to the men. I'm going to speak to the husbands. For one, as a husband, you need to be emotionally intelligent. We have to be emotionally intelligent. That's what I'm working on right now, being emotionally intelligent. And with that emotionally intelligent, it comes a strong confidence. To have a strong confidence, you got to get to know the Lord. If you don't know the Lord, you're going to go through several bouts of insecurity and you're not going to be very confident all the time, and you're not going to be emotionally intelligent. So what I mean by emotional intelligence is your wife is not perfect. She has done some things that have got on your nerves. She's done some things that maybe betrayed your trust. She's done some things that have hurt your feelings. She's done some things to let you down. But you are still with her. If you are still with her, then you need to let the past go. And this could go both ways now, but I'm talking to the man right now. But if you're a woman and it apply, if you're a wife and it apply, then shoe fit, wear it. You need to let the past go. Stop making little jabs. Stop making little comments. Stop saying little things. And you got to let the past go. You got to allow the wounds time to heal. We get hurt. We have a emotional wound. And instead of letting the wound heal, we keep yanking off the scab. And when we yank off the scab, it pull off a little bit of skin. We start to bleed again, and the healing process starts all over. And this may be a month, it may be 3 months, it may be 6 months, it may be 12 months. We have to let the past go. We gotta move forward, and you gotta walk in love. Now, one of the main reasons that I want to touch on this of why marriage is failing today is we stop dating. And you gotta date, and you gotta date on the level that you can date. So what you should be trying to do, we as married couples should try to do a date every single week. Every single week we should try to do a date. Whether that is, if you can afford to go to a restaurant and eat, and that restaurant, it could be Popeyes, it could be Applebee's. It don't have to be Ruth Chris and no highfalutin type of restaurant. You don't have to even be getting all dressed up. It could be Cold Stone. All of y'all send me a check. It could be Cold Stone Creamery. You go get your little ice cream. It could be the movie theater. You really don't want to do the movie theater too much because you sitting and you watching somebody else. You want to go where you could sit down and you could commune. You could talk with your spouse. And y'all, what y'all talking about, talk about your house renovations. Talk about your kids. But just avoid arguments. Like, you know what start an argument. If you don't know what start an argument by this point in your marriage, you brain dead. You just not paying attention, and you are the problem. If you do not know what is a trigger in your marriage, by this time, you are the problem. You're not paying attention. So you avoid conversations. And I'm going to give you an example. Me and my wife, we're going to differ on just about everything. We're going to differ on just about everything because we polar opposites. So if we talking about my oldest son, like, I'm over here. Had I ran this by her, when I say over here, I'm in Manchester, England. We live in the USA. So had I ran this by my wife before I started reaching out and making contact, she would have said no. She would have said no. Because I know we differ on that. But at the same time, I know what my son wanted to do. I know where his heart is at. So I had to go look to do it. And then I brought it up to her. And at that point, she knew that it was a pathway. She knew my son wanted it. She knew I wanted it for him. And so she agreed. And what I mean by that is you got to know your partner too. And you got to know what's best for your family. And sometimes you got to make things happen. And if you the spouse, you got to trust your partner. You got to trust your partner. And so guess what? On a date, I don't want to talk about my son because I'm okay with him chasing a dream. I'm okay with him moving states to go to a boarding school that got a good team. I'm okay with him switching teams for his last year and going to a new team if he gonna start on that team. I'm okay with that. But my wife, she is more about stability, staying in the same place, same routine, doing the same thing. And that's because her childhood was unstable. I'm okay with moving around because my childhood was very stable. So that's an example for you to understand the difference between you and your spouse. You got to understand y'all his history, and you got to understand y'all biography. When I say history, I mean your personal history and your personal biography. And so that lets you know what y'all gonna be arguing about and what y'all not gonna argue about. And y'all gotta forgive me, I'm up here. I be doggone in the morning. Yeah, right on here. It'll be first thing. Well, I'm on here. All kind of. And so you have to make sure that you paying attention. And so you avoid those arguments. But let's say you sit down, you have some ice cream. What you want to talk about is fun-loving things. You want to make fun of people on social media. You want to watch some funny memes. You want to talk about the dog and stuff, unless it's a touchy subject. But you want to talk about the funny stuff they do, the cute stuff they do. Talk about your coworkers. This where you get your little gossiping in with your spouse. And I'm not saying like sin, but your spouse, y'all one. So this ain't gossiping. You venting, you confiding. This ain't gossiping. You talking to your other half. So this way you talk about your coworkers, let your spouse chime in, and this way you really could run their name in the ground in a safe space. You're not doing this at the job. The problem is we talk about stuff with coworkers and friends that we should be talking about with our spouse. So you talk about this type of stuff and it's lighthearted. And then what you do is you look for dates. And this is what you got to do. And this to the men. As a man, you got to stretch. You got to get out your comfort zone. I know you work a job, but that job is not enough. Like especially if you live in America, really that job is not enough. Like you got to start thinking about what can you do on the side. What are your gifts? What are your passions? If you don't know how to make money from it, come to me. Make that investment for that one-on-one session, and I'm going to give you a play to run a bag up, to make money from your gifts or your passions. Never fail. This is what I do. So it is a natural gift from God to be able to see how to run a bag up. If you do not have that gift, then get with me, and I'm going to give you a play. I am going to give you a play. You hear me? Because as a man, you cannot just have that one stream of income. And you got to do what you got to do. You got to be willing to take chances. You got to be willing to press. You got to be willing to grind. You got to be willing to collaborate. You got to be willing to network. When I say collaborate, people say, oh, you're a hypocrite, Tony, because you don't collaborate with people. What I mean by collaborate is going to investors and asking them, do they want to invest in this project? So guess what? This football club over here, we call it soccer in the States, but it's called football over here. So this football club over here, I want to buy a little piece of it. I want to get 1% to 5, 6, 10%. So I wrote the president of the club, hey, can my investment group invest 400,000 pounds? I don't have 400,000 pounds myself. But if they say, yeah, I'm going to some key people that I know, I'm going to go to 10, I want 10 people, me included, me and 9 other people to put $50,000 in. $50,000, 10 people going to equal 500,000. That's 400,000 pounds. And we're going to buy into this here club. This club is being promoted from one league up to the next league. And when they get to that league, it's still 2 more leagues to climb. So if they let me buy in, my investment buy in, they might not, because it's kind of like they might not like the blight. But still, I'm going to ask. And if this one won't let me, I might reach out to a couple others and ask them. But that's how you got to be thinking. Because for one, that's generational wealth. This club keep climbing. That investment going to keep climbing. LeBron James invested $6 million. He got bread like that. His $6 million now worth over $30 million, I think they said. He invested in Liverpool. Now, that's a good, big club. I wish I had the opportunity to invest in Liverpool. That's my sons and my wife and my mother-in-law. That's their favorite team. I wish I was LeBron James right now. Not literally, but you know what I mean. But that's how we got to be thinking as men. So it's like this right here. You get out the box and you start thinking, because what you want to do as a man in your relationship, and this going to help you stay married too, is that ambition gonna help you stay married. When your wife sees she got a king, when she sees she got a go-getter, when she sees she got a man who don't make excuses, who don't cry, who don't complain, he make it happen, she wants to submit to that man. She wants to follow that man. She wants to support that man. If you a woman in any of those words that offended you, submit, follow, support, you are a Jezebel. You are a Jezebel and you are not fit for marriage. I hate to break it to you. If you are afraid of the word submission, which is a biblical concept, then you are a Jezebel and you working for the devil. I hate to break it to you. But you should not submit to a man that is not a man of God. That's when that word should turn your stomach, when the thought of submitting to a man who is not a man of God comes up. That's when you ought to be offended. So if you offended because you picturing your sorry ex-boyfriend or your sorry current boyfriend, okay, I get it. I'll take that back. But when it comes to a devout man of God, a man who is ambitious, a man who is faithful, a man who is consistent, a man who is emotionally intelligent, a man who is confident, he's a go-getter, you gotta trust that man. You gotta rock with that man. You gotta follow that man lead. You gotta support him. You gotta encourage him. You gotta push him. You gotta do that right there. You got to be better. And I'm gonna tell you like this right here. Stop waiting on your spouse to be better and you be better. This to the men. The better of a husband you become, the better of a wife she gonna become. The more you sit and nitpick and cry and complain, the worse of a wife she gonna become. You got to work on you. My wife, I'm gonna give you a personal example, and I use myself for an example as a person just to bring it home. Let me give you an example. My wife come from a family where they love hard. You know, they Jamaican, so they islanders, and my wife, she love hard. So it's a sense to where she kind of like, they don't really like give mushy love and compliments. They not really like that. Now, like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like my wife, my mama, when my mama see you, she gonna be like, "Ooh, I love that outfit. Ooh, I love your hair. Ooh, I love your shoes. Ooh, you're so beautiful. Ooh. That's how my mama is. Uh-oh, the police followed these boys in here. They must was speeding. Mm-hmm. What the police doing though? And so, black boy over here in England, he walking like Fred Sanford, or one of them old school guys that throw their arm all the way behind their booty when they step, like swinging. He walking like that for real, but he think it cool. And so, and then look at these academy players, they cheesing, thinking like they stretching they cheese, looking at the police, write these boys up a ticket or something. And so my wife, she is very, like, it's hard for her to say, wow, you okay? Hey, you're oh, you look handsome. Oh, I love the outfit. Oh, it's hard for her to say, like, she don't think to say, hey, thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for just being an amazing man. Thank you for providing for us. She said it like 2 days ago. You know why she said that out the blue? Because I'm becoming a better husband. I'm growing. I'm working on me. So now she thinking, what can I do to work on me? Like, this man treat me like a queen. Like, what can I do? So now she doing what's uncomfortable for her. She doing what's not natural for her. And being, you know, more consistently. And it's just like little stuff, just little compliments, just little stuff. And that's stuff that, you know, she'll do it. She have done it off and on throughout our marriage, but it's really a lot of times dependent upon me, which is rightfully so, because as a man, we the head, we the leader. So if we ain't leading right, that woman shouldn't be reinforcing our toxicity. But these boys, I'm on this dry fast, and they got this good Gatorade and Powerade and this colored juice, boy, got me feeling thirsty. That's when you go to feeling it. Man, it's sad to see black boys in this here they got a thing called football education, where it's like you're not good enough to be on the academy, which is only so many players gonna be on the academy. But I just ain't used to seeing black people classed as unathletic. I ain't used to seeing that. But I guess this sport here, and that's the thing when you're in a country where they just choose one sport. Like these boys, if they had American football or if they had basketball, they probably could be balling out instead of playing soccer using feet as hands. So think about this here now. The better you become, and this is where you start to stretch, and that got to be our goal too. Another thing that we do wrong as a couple is we don't focus on what we could do to grow, what we could do to be better. So you got to look at your weaknesses. So I look at my weakness and I say, okay, my weakness is not bringing up the past. Like my weakness is bringing up the past. My weakness is being insecure. My weakness is being controlling. My weakness is I have to look and say, okay, what is my weakness? My weakness is turning a good time into a bad time. My weakness is waking up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm looking at myself and I'm evaluating myself. What is my weakness? My weakness is penny pinching and stressing too much about money, getting too stressed about money instead of looking at how can I make more money? How can I do this? How can I do that? So I have to realize, okay, I got to look into what can I do to find a solution. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do as a man. You got to go get a loan because your family need a float right then. You got to go do that. You got to go make it happen. Payday loan, personal bank loan, business loan, whatever. You got to go do that. You got to make it happen. It's like, that's life. That's the life we live. People want to, oh, you need to be debt free. Oh, you need to be debt free. Yeah, that's one thing to say when you ain't got inflation, when these bills ain't crazy, when all this nonsense ain't all going all crazy. Yeah, that's easy to say. That's easy for Dave Ramsey to say when he got a product that is instituted like the Bible in every church in America. That's easy for Dave Ramsey to say because, like, yeah, this product costs $400 and he's selling 1,000 of them a month. So what you think that $400,000 a month off just that one product? Not to mention the radio show, the advertising. It's easy to tell people to be debt free when you making tens of millions of dollars. Yeah, but when you ain't have tens of millions of dollars, you weren't debt free. You weren't debt free. And so you got to shift your mindset, because if you just so scared of debt, that means you got a limited mindset. That means you got a scarcity mindset, because sometimes you got to use debt. Sometimes you got to use debt. You might go get that loan, boom, it's $200K. You get a house built with that. Boom. I was talking to my builder yesterday. He said I could build a 3-2, mean 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom for $180,000. Now that's because we building it. You feel me? The builder could do it for. On the market, it's gonna sell for more than that. It might sell for $300. And so it might sell for $250. We ain't gonna mark it up too much. But that's what we could build it at. And yeah, and that ain't his actual cost. That might be what he telling me just to put a little something in his pocket or what have you. But that right there, okay, that's a loan. Guess what that is? That's debt. But when that house built and then you rent it out, that house could be rented out for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. In 10 years, boom, $240,000. But it go up every year. See what I'm saying? So you just took and used debt. You got out that scarcity. You got out of that Dave Ramsey, I'm scared to make a move. You used that, then built the asset, and now this is an asset for the rest of your life. If you finna live another 30 years and you stay at that same price, which you're not gonna stay at $2,000 a month rent, now you looking at $240, $680, $880,000, $920,000 over the next 30 years. And that's not increasing from $2K a month. And then what you're going to have to do over the next 30 years, you're going to have to replace an AC. And you might have to replace it twice. That's 15 grand if you replace it twice. You might have to redo the roof. What's that? If you have to redo, you're going to have to redo the roof one time. That's that's about 12K, 15K. But you done, over 30 years, you done made 900-some thousand. That's because you went down to your credit union and you said, I'm finna use this here credit that I done built. I got a 700 credit score. I got this job paying me $70K a year. I'm finna go befriend a builder. Somebody I could take out to dinner, get to know, trust, build with, let them know, like, listen, this is what I'm trying to do. I know you need profit, but I really want to build as close to at cost as possible. And what I'll do is when I rent it out, we'll have a deal on paper. You get X amount out this rent. Or you go get somebody, or you go get your GC license. That's ambition. Yeah, it's hard to do, but boom, go do it. Go do it. All you doing is working that 40 hours a week job. Go get your general contractor license. Go study for it and take the test, and then now you build it. But this what I mean is where we got to stretch to, and this is why our marriage is failing, because of complacency. We got complacent men and we got complacent women. To the women, it is a lot of women. You was out here popping pee on a handstand to get that man. And what I mean by that is you was sweet, you was nice, you was cool, you was calm, you were collected, you was sexy, you was fresh, you was fun, you was friendly, you was all of this. And then when you get that man, you get lazy. Now you letting your chin hairs grow. You got your ingrowns between your legs with pus bumps. You got your weave raggedy. You getting cheap lashes. You cutting corners. You never want to have sex. You always got a headache. You always got a stomach ache. You're not eating right. You're not sleeping right. You're not working out every day. You putting on weight. But yet you expect this marriage to stay hot and to stay happy. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. You got to be able, if you initiate sex all the time, then stop initiating sex, get sexy, let his body rest, get sexy and let him initiate sex. Like whatever you doing all the time, do the opposite. Do the opposite. If he don't, or ask him how he feel, communicate, talk to him. If you cook every day, say, hey, would you rather go out to eat tonight? If he say, no, I love when you cook, okay, then cook. If you don't cook, then cook. If you can't cook, then ask him, hey, do you think I should take cooking lessons? If he don't hesitate, yeah, definitely. You definitely ought to do that. Yeah, I'll support you on that. That's a sign your butt needs to start learning how to cook. If you got to have your mama come over, your auntie, your homegirl, got to be careful with your homegirl now, because your homegirl will sleep with your husband. Yeah, I hate to talk bad about your friend, but you got to watch him now. Trust me, I'm a man. I know now. I live out here now. I've been out here now. Trust me. You got to watch your homegirl. Some of y'all got to watch your mama, especially if she done snort powder before. You got to watch your mama. Some of you can't be your auntie. You can't really be careful with no woman too careful in your house too much. You actually might want to go to her house and learn how to cook them oxtail, learn how to fry chicken the right way. You might want to go to her house instead of having her at your house. But you got to get out your comfort zone and do something different. And this what I'm doing right now. And I want you to, so here, I'm over here in England, right? Try taking boom. I bless my wife with a little bit of money to, hey, go get this right here outfit. Hey, boom, go get this right here. This cosmetic, treatment right here. And boom, gave her the money for that. And then I took and gave her a little bit of money, spending money. And you have to do this like on your budget. So if y'all real tight and y'all penny pinching and it's real tight all the time, then your budget might be $50. It might be $15 where you go to Target and get a for nothing gift like a little dress. Or if your wife shop at Target, or if she shop wherever she shop at, Charlotte Russe, Zara, you pop in there and you get her size, you look in her closet, you figure out her size, you pop in there and get a little for nothing gift. Or you go see how much it costs and you get her a gift card from there. It's just for nothing. It's just out the blue. This what we got to do. Same thing with a woman for your man. Just for nothing. Like my wife, she know what speak to my heart is like acts of service. So when she bring me a coffee and a Chick-fil-A biscuit, I'm in heaven, because it's like you thought about me. You thought about me and you feed me. That right there make me happy. That make me happy. If I'm to the office and she run an errand for me, I love if she run an errand, she support me, she help me. That right there, that's my love language. Acts of service. That's that love, that support. I ain't crazy big on affection, but if your person is big on affection, like rubbing their face, rubbing in the house, stuff like that, then that's what you got to do. You have to understand that. You have to understand that. And you have to be intentional. So I went to Poland last week. This week I'm thinking about going to Paris, but the money looking a little funny. So I might not be able to make it. Me and my son was talking about going to Paris and thrifting. But the money looking funny. So I might not make it. It's like, yeah, I could spend it. But it's like, boy, listen, you got to keep that budget now. But I want to go to Paris and do a little thrifting. But, so here we go. My wife, the NBA team, they in the playoffs. So my wife never asked me for money. She never asked me for money. But what she realized is I'm going to spend it. And what she also realizes, I don't know her situation all the time. I don't know what her account at. And if I give her some money and she doing things and she's spending it, I don't know where all this getting spent. I don't know what all she doing. So she know now that I don't always know. So in the last week, my wife asked me, she said, can we afford for me to go to the playoff game? Because she going with two of our friends, another couple that they want to go. They want to go. And so I say, yeah. It's like, can you afford it? No. But it's like, for my wife getting out of her comfort zone and asking me, her husband, for something, some people beg. I'm a beggar in the sense I ask her for all kind of stuff. I ask her for everything. Anything I ask her for. Because I come from a begging family. Because my mama is a beggar. Her whole side of the family is a beggar. My daddy's side, they're not begging. You know, my sister, she like my daddy. She not really a beggar. She not a beggar. Me and my mama, we beggars. We ask for anything we want. My wife, she not a beggar. She don't ask for nothing. She never have to ask for nothing. Like her whole closet is just draped up, dripped out. That all come from me. She ain't asked me for none of that stuff. It's just me, because I'm a asker, and not in a literal sense of like a beggar, because I ask for something, but I give. So because I'm an asker, I'm a giver. My mom is a big giver. My daddy not a big giver. My sister not a big giver. My wife not a big giver. Her mama not a big giver. Her daddy not a big giver. So it one hand wash the other, both hand wash the face. So when she asked me for that, I reinforce it. You got to be sure to reinforce your spouse when they do something that you want them to do that they don't always do. You got to say thank you. You got to do whatever. You got to reinforce it some kind of way to let them know this is something that I want you to be, that I want to keep seeing happen. Like some people say, boy, you crazy. You want your wife to keep asking you for money. But it's not that. It's just her asking me for something means she trusts me. It means she feels safe. It means she feel comfortable. That's what I want. Her not asking me is because she feel it's gonna get thrown in her face. It's gonna get brought up, and that's what I used to do when I was young and toxic. That's what I did this, I did that. And we do that as humans. You might be guilty of that too. You need to stop that. And she'll do it too, though. She'll do it too. That's human nature. I feel like all humans do it sometimes. We want to keep score and we want to remind our spouse or friend or family member, whoever, everything we done did. And sometimes people get did for and they'll forget that they got done for. That happens as well. And so I took and I got tickets for us to the hockey game. I got her tickets to the basketball game. Then I got us tickets to the hockey game, but now I might not make it, so she's gonna have to take a friend. And of course, I don't want to spend money on no friend. But then I got us tickets to F1 because my wife loved F1 because she watched the Netflix thing. F1 is the racing, the car racing. Got us tickets to F1. We're not gonna be able to make that first Friday most likely, so I'm gonna have to sell those tickets. But got us tickets to F1. And just like that. And then I'm just constantly looking. And we going down there, I got us a dinner reservation. We going with my homeboy. They gonna step out. My wife, she like to dance. I'm a devout Christian. I don't do none of that foolishness and all of that. But my wife, me and her, I understand this ain't, she with me. If we go out to a little lounge and they playing music or a little, we too old for it to be clubbing and stuff like that. So my business partner, he going out and all they do is go out just to be seen and look around. My wife, she like to dance and make her feel young. So she get to dress up. That means something. So I don't like that. I don't want to do that, to get dressed up and all of that. But to a woman, at least my woman, that means something. So I'm step outside of my comfort zone. And that's where it's like, it's me doing something that I know gonna just make her feel good. Because her culture, dancing and all of that, you just don't want to be Bible thumping all the time. And that's where some people get so caught up in religiosity. And they don't realize that God judging your heart. God judging your heart. He ain't judge. We not under the law. Now it's spirit and in truth. And I'm not saying that you make a habit of something, but if you take it, you do something and you know that you're not worshiping that thing. So if we go out to a lounge or we pop into like this little grown folks nightclub type situation where they playing music and they got food in there and all of that, and my wife, she get to do her little dance, and then we leave in an hour, I don't feel, now I might go in there and I might feel defiled. And if I feel the foul, she probably gonna feel the foul, and then we'll know, okay, yeah, that ain't for us. That ain't for us. But we not going to hell. God ain't finna say, you was in there, going to hell. Now, if we in there bowing down to another God and praising another God and pledging allegiance to another God, that's totally different. But if it's some music playing and you doing a little dance to it, God ain't sending you to hell for that, because he judging your heart. He judging your heart. And that's where a lot of Christians get so caught up in religiosity. And so what we got to realize and understand is that sometimes for your spouse, you don't do nothing against God when you believe in God. You don't do nothing against God. So what I mean by that, you're not giving into fornication, adultery. You're not sinning. You're not sinning. And you got to be mindful of it. And sometimes you might do something and then you get a lesson from it. And you say, you know what? No, that pulled me away from God. That defiled my spirit. I can't do that again. And you take that lesson. It could be a certain sex toy that y'all want to try, and it just make you feel sadistic. You take that, nope, we're not doing that again. I ain't like the way that felt. I ain't like the way the thought. I ain't like, you might decide to watch porn together, and then you realize, no, this a gateway drug. This ain't new. This ain't healthy. You cut that out. So that's the thing, is like, yeah, you might be stretching for your partner, for your spouse, not your boyfriend or girlfriend, your husband or wife, and trying to keep things hot and lively, but you got to be able to know when you teetering or you tiptoeing into some sin, and you got to check that, and you got to pull back. You got to repent, and you got to pull back. And so this one thing we got to realize and we got to understand. And as you start to work and you start to learn each other and you start to stretch and you start to press and you keeping your relationship hot. So this week, like, we got a park about an hour away we haven't gone to. This week you may do the park. It's free. Just going out there, you spending time, you walking around, you looking around. It's the park, it's free. Next week, payday, you get paid, you might go out to a little restaurant. The next week, you might go, y'all like to dance, you might go get y'all a little table at a little spot. Get your little table, boom. Long as it don't defiling your spirit and making you feel treacherous and raunchy, and you in and out, boom, you just got a little different type of feeling. You go home, you feeling hot and young, now y'all get to make sweet love. The next week, you could go to a play, go to a museum. You know, me and my wife, we went to this play, Hamilton. I really am not a play type of guy. I thought it was going to be very lame. We was treated by my friend, my business partner and friend, one of my investors. Him and one of my other homeboys I went to high school with. I went to high school with both of them. So them two, they took us out. We went to the little play. Boom. I really loved it. Because I'm just a little too cool for plays. Just a little too much swag in my own mind. So I really did not a play guy. But I went there, I loved it, because in Hamilton they rapping. And they rap good too now. They rap better than a lot of rappers. And there's a lot of little, you know, kind of little lame, corny guys. Because, you know, they in theater club. And I'm not, you know, picking on nobody in the theater club. And so y'all forgive me. Y'all forgive me. If you're in a theater club for calling you lame and corny. Y'all forgive me. Y'all, but you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. I really ain't calling you that. It's like brotherly love, you know. But, so it's just guys who, it ain't 50 Cent. You know, it ain't J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, which all of them kind of lame, too. But they in there rapping. They rapping better than a lot of rappers. I'm like, man. So I see why my white homeboy love it. Because he like to try to rap. And he can't rap either. And so he looking at people who look like him. Theater club people. And it's black people, though. And, you know, biracial, whatever. Hispanic, light skin, Asian. Different races. And they rapping. I said, okay, I see how somebody like this could like this. But it was cool to me, too. We liked it. And so you might go out to a play. Whatever it is. It could be one of the Tyler Perry plays in town. David E. Talbot plays. What else? The Black Stage plays. Or it could be one of the white people plays, and, you know, black people plays if you white. But you go out and you do that and you have that fun. And this is the thing. You have to continue to fall in love. Like, you got to continue to fall in love. And so you learn your spouse's love language. Learn their love language, and you speak it fluently. You got to speak it fluently. One thing about my wife, she loves gifts. I don't know what it is. She loves gifts. And that's not the case for everybody, though. So we could say, oh, everybody loves gifts. I don't love gifts. I would much rather a back rub than a gift. I would much rather a head rub than a gift. And I've heard some women say they don't really like gifts. So everybody don't love gifts. And sometimes this stuff is rooted. It comes from our childhood. So for me, I had everything I wanted growing up. Like all the clothes, all the shoes. So gifts don't really do nothing for me. Some people had everything they wanted and still love gifts. It made them love gifts because they had everything they wanted. Me, I go work for what I want and I buy whatever I want. That's a gift. I buy whatever I want, and I go broke on it if I want to go broke on it, and then I go make money again. I don't worship money. My wife sent me this little voiceover, and it was a little voice, sounded like an Indian voice. I don't know if it was a real Indian voice or if it was somebody mocking a wise Indian person. I don't know if it was Indian. They probably, but you know how the men talk with a little accent, and it was saying like, "Live for today, live for today. Tomorrow, it says stop saving effing money. Spend your money. The day that you are saving for may never come. Live today." Live, buy, spend, live, spend your effing money. And my wife sent me that audio, the TikTok, and she was like, this your mantra or something. This how you live. And that's how I do. I live like that. Like, so what I do is I have two deposits a month that go into savings. Not two a month, two different ones. One is weekly. It put money into savings every Wednesday. And then one is towards the end of the month. It put a lump sum into savings. That's my savings. Outside of that, I spend every dime. Outside of that, I want to spend every dime because tomorrow is not promised. And God showed me this. God showed me this. Let me give you an example of what I mean by this. How God showed me this. God tell us in his word, do not worry about tomorrow. It have enough problems of its own. Do not worry about tomorrow. God say, I clothe the lilies of the field and I feed the fowls of the air. How much more will I do for you, my child? So I didn't really take that to heart. I ain't really realized that. So I remember one time I was getting ready to book something. And when I looked at my account, I'm like, okay, I got it to do this at the highest level. Like I got it to, I can't remember what it was, but I'm going to give you an example. I'm like, okay, I fly first class. So first class is 600, economy is 300. I'm like, I got 800. So all my bills paid right now. I got 800. I could book the ticket that I fly on, which is 600. But I took and said, no, I ain't gonna do that because, money a little tight right now. I'm gonna book that 300. And then by the time the flight came, by the time it was time, I hadn't got a check to where now that 600 seemed like a little bit of money because now I got 6,000. And I said, man, you know what? The blessing was already on the way. But I wasn't walking by faith. I was walking by sight. I was walking by what I could see, what I could feel, what I could touch, and not by sight. So I shortchanged God. I shortchanged what God got for me, and I went into a scarcity mindset instead of into an abundant mindset when the provision for the max blessing, which is what God has for his children, the provision was already on the way. I should have just trust God and live for today, knowing that he finna send the money for tomorrow. Because God wants us to have the best. God wants us to have the best because, and the reason why I say that, that's why the Bible tells us that he will grant us the desires of our heart. That if we ask and we believe, he will grant us the desires of our heart. God wants to have the best. That's why the Bible says, I've never seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread. God is going to bless you. He tell her he owns cattle on 1,000 hills. And that you're going to be blessed. And the Bible says you're not only going to be blessed, you're going to be blessed where it's pressed down, it's shaking together, and it's still running over. You press it down to make more room. Shake it together. So now you're trying to create more room, and it's still going to be running over. Your barns will be filled beyond. You ain't going to have enough room to store the blessings that God got for you. But we get into a marriage and we live scarcely. We live in fear. We live in doubt. We penny pinching. We can't go to eat. We can't do this. We can't do that. We can't do this. We got to do this. You got to trust God. And outside of that, you got to work. You got to work, but you got to live at the highest level. So go on my Instagram. If you got Instagram and you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Guess what you finna see? You finna see me living. You finna see me living. And guess what? I ain't technically got it, But I'm finna spend it. You know why I'm finna spend it? Because I know God got it. And I know that he know my heart. And I know that he know I'm doing this to build memories, to build love, and to live at the highest level as a Christian. Because people think being a Christian is poor. Being a Christian is scarcity. Being a Christian is downtrodden. Being a Christian is always climbing the rough side of the mountain, always wading in the water, always up to your neck in debt and in stress, always worried, always penny pinching, always eating beans and bread. That's what people want to put Christian as, and they want to put the worldly, they want to put living for the devil is, oh, the yachts and the planes and the vacations and Turks and Caicos. But a Christian got to just stay and just slave to the bone. No, I'm finna show you life. I'm finna show you life, and life more abundantly, like God promised in his word. Life and life more abundantly. What do you think more abundantly mean? What do you think more abundantly mean? That's abundance. You know what abundance is? That's abundant in every area. Life and life more abundantly. That's what God doing. Abundance across the board. So you got to trust, believe, and know. And I know some people, oh, well, Tony, should we pray together? Guess what? Me and my wife don't pray together. We pray. And we won. So that means we praying together. But we don't pray together. Unless we got to bind something out. Unless we got to cast it out on earth as it be cast out in heaven. We don't pray together. You know why? That's my thing. You know why I don't do it? Because I don't want my prayers to be her prayers, and I don't want her prayers to be my prayers. I don't know what she need in her life. And I don't know what she want from God. And I don't want to pray a prayer that she don't want. I don't want to say something in a prayer that I'm hoping for and that I want that she don't want. And then now we not on one accord. Because I might be praying that my son, we might be praying, and I might say, Lord, bless my son that he could play in Europe. And my wife might be like, no, I want my baby in Europe. No, she's sitting there, no, Lord, take that, Lord, take that, Lord, don't listen to that. Nah, our prayers ain't getting past the ceiling. So I let her pray her prayer, and I let me pray my prayer. And if it's something that, which has only happened like twice in our 17 years of marriage, if it's something that we both need to bind out, that we need to cast out, like we praying for a certain healing for somebody, or we praying for a certain spirit or something to be removed for something, well, we never faced that. We honestly have not faced that. And it could be because our marriage, God know our path. If we're gonna live till 80 or 90, then that means if my wife lived till 90 and I'm still living, my wife would have been married for 70 years. Her grandmama lived till 90, so she got them kind of genetics that live a while. So if I'm still living, I will be 92 or 93 when my wife turned 90. And yeah, I'll be 92, no, 93, and then she'll turn 90. No, I'm 2.5 years older than her, I think. And so, guess what? So maybe God got it to where our prayers, we're going to be coming together, and we're going to be holding hands, and we're going to be praying, and we're going to be binding and casting out infirmity in our old body, or praying for our sons or whatever, and we'll grow into that to where it's a need for that. But see, what I found is that a lot of couples, and this is what people try to say, but nobody got these kind of stats. A lot of couples who they make praying together a tradition and like a religiosity, they end up going through a divorce because they doing it just for the sake of doing it. They don't understand the power of prayer. They don't understand that when you pray, you also finna invite attack. So if you praying without fervor, and you praying without the anointing, you praying without the Holy Spirit, them words still count. And you not praying to God because God know your heart, and he know you doing this out of routine, and you doing this out of religiosity. So God got a deaf ear to that. But who does hear that is Satan. Satan can tell that your heart it's not really a heart for God, and you doing this so that you could post about it online. You setting up a camera and you filming y'all praying together so that you could make a post on Instagram that y'all pray together. You doing this for clout. You doing this for religiosity. You doing this for a brand. God know that, and the devil know it too. And so the devil finna send every test that he know one of y'all gonna fail. And that's how a lot of couples who quote unquote pray together end up in divorce. And so don't put stipulations and traditions and things on your marriage just because you heard that this is something you should do. You got to look at your marriage and see what's right for y'all, because the proof is in the pudding. So like I have said, me and my wife have held hands and prayed together less than 5 times in our 17 years of marriage. And we doing great and we happy. And God, because see, God knows the heart. God say, I know what you need before you even ask for it. So a lot of people so caught up in religiosity. I meet a lot of young men who come to me and they say, yeah, man, you know, I want us to pray together. And I'm like, why do you want to pray together and you watch porn? Why do you want to pray together and you in fornication? But they want to pray together for the look. They want to pray together for the religiosity. They want to pray together because a lot of women think a praying man, a man that they could see pray, is a powerful man in the kingdom of God. And that's not true. That's not the case. The Pharisees pray where you could see them. The most powerful men of God pray in secret, pray in their closet. The most powerful men of God do not pray on the internet. Do not pray in public. Do not pray for people, with people, and all of that. The most powerful men of God, the ones God really using, they are humbled and they are in secret. And God using them in public. And that's what got to be realized and understood. And a lot of times we don't realize and understand that. A lot of times we don't realize and understand it. Oh, buddy ain't got no backup camera, so buddy got to use that mirror. That's different now, boy. I done forgot them kind of cars. So listen to me. Get this in your spirit. And this is what I'm going to over when I can, as I'm able. I'm moving to 1-hour videos. That's what kind of built my channel, 1-hour videos. And then I got too busy running around, hectic. But I'm going back to 1-hour videos to the best of my ability, if God allow me, because you got to realize too, to talk for an hour on a subject, that's why I bounce around sometimes and I hit different things, because I want you to try to talk for an hour without no note cards. It is not easy. It is not easy. So it got to be, the spirit got to be in the midst. When you talking for an hour, you know how sometimes you sitting with somebody and you sitting there with them and you be feeling stuff in your nose and you feeling lint, all kind of little stuff. You know, and you be, cause it just like, you know, the wind blowing and stuff like that, and you like, what's going on? So that's how it is when I be talking for an hour. I be wanting to blow my nose, I be wiping my eyes, and stuff be all in my face, lint flying around. It is not easy. And then now too, I'm on this dry fast, so now I'm starting to feel my stomach. I heard a man say last night, he said, if your stomach burns when it's empty, you're not supposed to be fasting. My stomach don't really do that, but now it's starting to burn a little bit. I done crossed 48 hours, but it's because it's I'm releasing chemicals from the brain. You know, the brain releasing whatever it is, dopamine or serotonin or whatever being released, and that go into that empty stomach, because this right here is stimulating. So it's like when you do a speech as a speaker, when you done, you don't feel like eating because your stomach is full of all the chemicals that was being released from your brain from the, you know, what have you. And then when you're talking too, I'm also mindful of when I'm saying something controversial, because it's something, some people gonna be like, you supposed to pray together every day. That a man of God, I never say you not, I ain't say you not supposed to, but I said you don't have to. You got to do what's right for your spirit and for your marriage. Like me and my wife, both of us, we on the same page. Like if we go to pray together, we'll feel fake. We'll feel fake and it'll feel forced, because both of us have a very intimate, personal relationship with God. and we respect that space of each other. And we don't want to combine that because we also know we polar opposites. So our prayers may be completely different. And so that's why I say you got to do what's right for you. If y'all like two peas in a pod and y'all just alike and y'all see everything alike, then y'all praying together makes sense. So do what's right for your marriage. Keep it hot. Keep it going. Keep pressing. Keep believing. And y'all, in other topics y'all want me to touch on, not these specific topics. Like, Tony, can you speak on a man who put his right shoe on the left foot and just thinks that it's funny? Tony, can you speak on a man who wants his stepdaughter to sit on his lap even when the mom says she doesn't feel comfortable with that? And it be like, listen, that's yo nasty perverted man. So when y'all give me a topic, don't give me no topic that's what specifically just what you going through, this little bitty thing this thing you going through that's specific just to you. That means you need a coaching session. And you got to get on your grind and do what you got to do to where you can afford a coaching session. But when I say give them a topic, I mean a topic that's like in the media, stuff that people are being bombarded with. It's going to shift the way they think because they seeing it in the media, or it's a topic that a lot of people going through, millions of people going through, hundreds of thousands of people going through. Those type of topics that could be useful across the board. But hey, this Tony Gaskin here. God bless you. We'll talk soon.